What is going on, guys? Jay here, and I'm bringing you guys another top 10 video, and this time is going to be the top 10 Pokemon that I feel that should get pre-evolutions in Pokemon X and Y. Now keep in mind that this is my own personal opinion. You don't necessarily have to agree with my opinion, but as long as you respect my opinion, then I will respect yours. And feel free to leave your own top 10 or top 5, top 3, whatever in the comments. But let's go ahead and jump into this. Giving warning right now, most of these are based on Pokemon stats, and some of them are just because, you know, this is really plain obvious. But anyway, let's go ahead and jump into this. So cracking my number 10 is Girafarig, and I chose Girafarig mainly because Girafarig hasn't gotten any kind of love in Pokemon ever since 2nd gen, and I just feel that Girafarig needs a little bit more love. And plus, I think it would be really cool if Girafarig had a full evolution line. I think that something like this on the screen would be suitable to be its pre-evolution, because, you know, I mean, Girafarig is not a bad Pokemon, so I feel that you should still have to work up to Girafarig instead of just catching it like straight up in the wild. Even though, I mean, catching it in the wild would be cool too, but I just feel like it would be better if you had to actually work up to become a Girafarig and then, you know, get a stone and evolve it into something else. So I think that would be really cool. So my choice for the number 9 spot on my top 10 list is Torkoal, and I chose Torkoal because its defensive stat is really high, and I think that no Pokemon should be able to just hatch out of an egg and just have a ridiculously high defensive stat. It just makes no sense to me whatsoever. I just feel that you really should be able to work up to that defensive stat. So having a pre-evolution like this on the screen right here would be really cool, and I find this little pre-evolution kind of cute. It's kind of funny if you look at it. Like, it's like a little teapot or something. I like the idea of this pre-evolution right here, and I just like the idea of Torkoal having a pre-evolution because I just don't see how it could come out of an egg and have a really high defense stat. It just makes no sense to me whatsoever. So the Pokemon who made it number 8 on my list is Skarmory, and Skarmory basically has the same reasoning as Torkoal. Skarmory is known for its really high physical defense stat, and not only that, but it has a decent HP stat to boot. So I just think that, you know, again, something hatching out of an egg should not be this good. I would think that it should be able to at least evolve from some type of little small bird Pokemon like this one you see on the screen. I'm not really liking this concept specifically, but I do think that Skarmory having a pre-evolution in general would be good. And, you know, maybe its pre-evolution could be used in Little Cup tier in competitive battling and have an Eviolite. You know, that would be really cool, wouldn't it? I think it would be cool anyway. And now we get to our number 7 pick, and my number 7 pick is Absol, and I chose Absol because really the same reasoning as most of the other Pokemon on this list, or on the bottom half of this list anyway, is because Absol has a monstrous attack stat. It's really high for absolutely no reason at all. Not only that, but I just feel that Absol isn't necessarily, it's used because it looks cool, but not because it's strong. And if it is used because it's strong, then, you know, you slap a choice scarf on it, boom, there you go. But I feel that you need to be able to work up to that attack stat. So I think that a pre-evolution like this one here on the screen would suit it best. You know, it'll be really cool if Absol had a pre-evolution, not only just a pre-evolution, but also just an evolution line in general, because I feel that Absol, they wasted so much potential on Absol, and Absol has a lot of potential to have an evolution and a pre-evolution, and I just think that it'll be really cool for Absol to have both of those. And not only that, but it'll be really cool to have Absol work up to that monstrous attack stat that is known to have. So as we continue to wind down to the halfway point, my number 6 choice is Heracross, and I just really think Heracross needs a pre-evolution because Heracross, if you guys watch my Pokemon Sacred Gold Egglock, then you guys know that a Heracross straight out the egg is pretty damn good, and if it has specific egg moves, then this thing is a complete monster. It has a really high attack stat, and I don't understand where it comes from. So I would love to, you know, actually know where it comes from. I will actually like to just see it have a pre-evolution in general, like this little guy here on the screen. Probably not like this, maybe with like a bigger horn or something, but more or less just like this on the screen. And I just think that Heracross having a monstrous attack stat, I don't think it shouldn't just be straight out the egg like that. I just don't understand why it's just like that, you know? So that's my reasoning behind Heracross. So we have reached the halfway point, and the Pokemon that makes it number 5 on my list is Pincer. And Pincer and Heracross can really be interchangeable because I find them both to be relatively similar in terms of stats and moves and stuff like that. Pincer also has a really high attack stat just like Heracross for really no reason at all. Honestly, I say if you don't know like Heracross and Pincer stats, you can easily mix them up and confuse someone, but it wouldn't even make a big difference because they're both practically the same in my opinion. But I feel that Pincer should get a pre-evolution just because you know, it has a monstrous attack stat, and I just feel like you should work up to it. But not only that, but also because the thing came out in Gen 1 and it has no evolution or pre-evolution. And if I have to choose between an evolution or a pre-evolution, I would probably choose a pre-evolution just because Pincer doesn't necessarily need an evolution. If it has an evolution, then I would want it to be based on speed and get a little bit faster because Pincer isn't really that fast of a Pokemon. But I would love to see some type of little guy like this here on the screen as a pre-evolution for Pincer, except not with that big horn. Maybe like 1 or 2 little tiny horns, you know, instead of you know, just that one big horn that it has on its head. This is the only picture that I found that I actually liked, because every other, you know, pre-evolution of Pincer I saw was just like a really tiny Pincer, and I was like, no, it needs to be something unique, I would assume, you know. So yeah, I just want Pincer to have a pre-evolution in general, and yeah, that's my reasoning behind that. So as we continue to wind down, my number 4 pick and the last pick that has to do anything with stats is Lapras. And Lapras, everyone knows Laprases are known for being bulky. Probably not as bulky as some other water type Pokemon we know, but Lapras is definitely bulky, and coming out bulky straight out the egg is insane. It's ridiculous. Lapras, not only that, but Lapras is also dual typed. So it's dual typed and it's bulky straight out the egg. Not only that, but Laprases are freaking huge. I mean, even a baby Lapras is ridiculously huge, and that thing popping out of a little tiny egg, no, that doesn't make any sense to me whatsoever. So a pre-evolution like this here on the screen would be like kind of cool in a sense, because you know, it's only single typed, it's a lot smaller than Lapras, and you know, you can work up to that big ass defensive stat, and it's dual typing, you know, like some other Pokemon do. But I just feel that Lapras should not be able to just hatch out of an egg dual typed and bulky, and I just can't see it happening. I just don't think it should be happening like that. So winding down, our top 3 choices do not have anything to do with stats at all. And my number 3 is Throw and Sock. And I hit my arm, but let's ignore that. Anyway, so Throw and Sock, I treat them as the Hitmonlee and Hitmonchan of Gen 5. Now obviously they aren't like Hitmonlee and Hitmonchan, but in a sense they are, because you know, they're both paired together, and they both, you know, they both are very similar. Both are fighting type, and they just look the same to me, you know, except they're just different colors, and one is skinnier than the other, whatever. So anyway, I feel that since, you know, Hitmonlee and Hitmonchan both got that pre-evolution of Tyrogue, and that Tyrogue evolves based on attack or defense, or which one is higher, well, I just feel that, you know, Throw and Sock should be able to get some sort of pre-evolution like this little guy here on the screen, and that little guy should evolve based on, you know, if the attack stat is higher or if the defense stat is higher, because I just treat these as Hitmonlee, Hitmonchan. Not only that, but they're pretty powerful if you really think about it. Like, they're pretty strong fighting type Pokemon. Like, they're not like super duper good, but, well, I mean, okay, I guess Sock, well, they are super duper good, really. They're good. Like, I can use them, like, and I feel comfortable using them, you know. But I just feel that, you know, they're the Hitmonlee and Hitmonchan of Gen 5, and they should just get a pre-evolution just like Hitmonlee and Hitmonchan. So winding down on this top 10 list, my number 2 choice is Tauros and Miltank. And if you do not know anything about animals, let me tell you this. A bull is basically the male version of a cow, and then a cow is the female version of a bull. So they're the same species. And being male, bulls are only male, cows are only female, 100% female Miltank, 100% male Tauros. Well, if they're the same species, then why don't they mate? And if they do mate, then why isn't there like a pre-evolution that you can get 50-50 male or female, and then have that little thing evolve into Miltank or Tauros based on gender? Like, that makes so much sense to me. Like, Game Freak has the potential right here, and so I don't see why they don't take us up on that potential right there. Like, it's just great potential right there for a new Pokemon. Like, they don't even have to evolve Tauros or Miltank because they're both good, but having a pre-evolution would be really good, and it'll just make me feel better if they have a pre-evolution. And so we finally make it to our number 1 choice, and my number 1 choice is probably everyone's number 1 choice. You could have probably guessed it a mile away. It's Kangaskhan. Like, look at the thing in its pouch. It has a baby right there. I don't know why Game Freak even made this thing if they weren't going to use that baby in the pouch. Like, I don't get me wrong, I know about the whole Cubone and Marowak theory. I know about all that. But still, they could have done something with this little baby in the other generations that came after Gen 1. Like, that little guy in the fucking pouch is pissing me off because it looks nothing like Kangaskhan, and it resembles it, but it doesn't look anything like it. It looks like a whole nother Pokemon. It just looks like another Pokemon altogether, and I just don't see why they haven't changed this thing to make it into a Pokemon, like a little mini Kangaskhan or something. I don't know why they haven't made it into a Pokemon. I mean, I can't even find like a pre-evolution picture, because that is the picture right there, like the fucking baby. Like, I just can't stand it. Like, it frustrates me so much that Kangaskhan just does not have a pre-evolution, but there's a baby sitting in its pouch. Not only that, but Kangaskhan are all female. How do you get babies in your pouches if you're all female? Like, that doesn't make any sense whatsoever. Like, you need a male to mate, and you can't say Ditto because Ditto transforms into you, so I will assume that Ditto would transform into a Kangaskhan. Since Kangaskhan's are all female, Ditto would technically be female. How do you mate and make babies like that? You don't. What the hell? It frustrates me so much. So this is my number 1 choice, guys. That's my number 1 choice. And there you have it, guys. That is my top 10 list on which Pokemon I feel that should get pre-evolutions in Pokemon X and Y. And if you have your own pre-evolution list, leave it in the comments. And also, if you did not check out my evolution list, then there will be a video / annotation playing on the screen for you right now that will link you to that video, because I did make one. Just in case this is not only on my channel, I'm gonna leave this here for others anyway. So yeah, I'm glad that you watched, and if you enjoyed it, please leave a like, comment, and subscribe if you're not subscribed to me and you want to subscribe, and I will see you guys later. Peace.